I was like, why did I do this? It was so painful. I remember I went back home, and my husband, he saw me, I was crying all that, and he said, why did you do that? What for? I'm like, I don't know, it felt very painful, but I think, it works. I didn't know. Then, about 6 months after that, maybe my sisters don't remember this, Marilena called me up and said that my sister Alicia had found a video of my father's funeral, that they were going to show it. And he told me, Ligia, you cannot come. Because the thing is that when I would talk, no, but this is serious, when I would talk about my dad, I would start crying. Dale, I had a complicated grief. I did. And, but I didn't know, of course, anything about grief at that time. So I would start crying, but hysterically. So they're like, Ligia, for you to know, but you cannot tell me. I'm like, I need to go. I really want to go. So we went with the condition that if I started to be really, hysterical, I should leave because I wanted to see the video. So I went with my husband, Mario, my sisters were there, my mom, and I started seeing this funeral very similar to the image that I had when I had that regression, very interesting. And I went through that. I will not tell you that I was not sad. I won't tell you that I cried. Tears came down. But it was incredible, the healing that took place, the love that I felt for my dad. And I said, wow, it worked. It did work. And since then, I learned to talk about my dad, the pain, the love that exists when someone who we love, the parts physically, it's always there. But let's remember, we learn to live with that loss. I do not believe in when someone dies, it's over. No, we learn to live with that loss. We relocate that person in our lives in another way, in another context. But it's still with us. It's always in our heart. So that was how I did that, the regression. Thank you, Phyllis. Yeah. Somebody else? Any other question? Any other type of loss? Yes, Mike.
First of all, wonderful message. I enjoyed listening to you very much. You know that I kid around with you a lot, but that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Especially the part about gratitude. I think if I have one guiding principle in my life is gratitude. I'm grateful because I cannot allow one or two or three things that are going wrong in my life to negate the 1,000 things that are going right. But I wanted you to talk a little bit about acceptance. Because I know that you're right, it is the key. And nothing can change until I first accept the situation. But very seldom is it instantaneous, snap. Sometimes it takes a process. Can you talk about that process a little bit and how we can hurry it up or
Thank you so much. And that was very good question. I appreciate you ask that. Yes, because acceptance, who knows about Elizabeth Kubler-Ross? Famous pioneer on death and dying. She was a Swiss doctor. Incredible, actually. I had the honor to be last week. I thought I was going to see you there, Dale.
Friday.
Did you go? Did you see you? Okay, it was sponsored by Catholic Hospice. And the son of Dr. Kubler-Ross gave a speech. Wonderful speech. And he was talking about his mom who died 4 years ago. It was interesting because we got to see another aspect, of the doctor. And this woman, she was a pioneer, and she said so much that she came up with these stages. You know what the stages are? Who can tell me what the stages are? Denial. Have you heard about the denial? Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. In her stages is the last one. What happens is this, and I'm going to divert a little bit on that. What happens is this, that when she came up with these stages, and it was actually the stages of dying patients, people took them, and then applied them to bereavement, to different losses, and then like linear, like in stages. First the denial, then the anger, then the bargaining, and then people are taking that. And it's like, okay, I'm stage of denial. Then I'm stage of anger. What happened? Then if you take into consideration, that's very, very passive. It's like, okay, this is happening to me. What is your role? There's no being active or proactive. So she came out afterwards explaining that she never meant to be, these stages to be linear, and they could be circular. You could be, denial first, then you can go to depression, then you went back to anger, because we are humans, and as Alex said, we're changing all the time. We're changing. Our cells are changing. We are changing. And the moment that we do not change, we become stagnated. We need to be in constant change to grow. And that's what she said. We go through different stages in a circular manner. Then other theories have come out that are more proactive. For example, the four tasks of William Warden. That is a very, very well-known psychologist on grief. And his first task actually is accept the reality of the loss. Now, when we say acceptance, it takes time. It does take time. We cannot hurry it. We can't. And remember something else. We are unique. Every single person in this room is beautiful and unique. So grief is unique. We cannot compare our grief process, our grieving process. You're grieving, or you're crying more than me. You must be sadder than me. Or you're wearing red and wearing black. I feel more than you. We cannot compare the grieving, okay? And that is sometimes a problem in our society, that we tend to judge others based on our own assumptions, on our own map. Because we all have a map, remember, of reality. Sometimes the map is not the reality, but we have the map, okay? So, I know, sometimes we get the wrong